Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of SafeDefend Facebook Live. Joined today by Mr. Jeffrey Green, founder of SafeDefend. Jeff, I'm going to let you introduce our guest here today. Somebody everybody's going to get used to seeing and knowing.
Absolutely. So it's very exciting to announce Craig Deaver as one of our new sales gurus. We love the fact that we're expanding and growing, and we're able to bring him on board. He's got quite a connection to the school system, and I'll let him share a little bit about himself as well. But yeah, welcome, Craig.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, gentlemen. I would like to remind everybody that the camera adds at least maybe 30 pounds in my case. So just want to throw that out there.
70 on my camera.
Yeah.
About 110 for me.
Is that how that? Okay. Well, that's a lot better now. Then that's awesome. No, I'm feeling very fortunate because, I retired about a month ago, and I thought that was it. I thought I was going to call it a career and sit back and relax. And then Uvalde happened, and it really upset me. It hit me in the heartstrings a little bit. And I kind of wondered, is there something else out there that I could do now that I'm retired? Is there something that I can do to impact or effectively make kids safer? Because here a month ago, I had 2,000 of them staring at me at a high school in Liberty. And so I actually started to look on the net, and I was shocked to find that there weren't many solutions out there. And I saw a few that weren't horribly effective that I could tell you as a teacher. I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. This won't work. That won't work. And then I came across SafeDefend, and I'll be darned if I didn't have a connection. My wife knew somebody who knew somebody. And so I called them, and I got somebody on the phone, and it wasn't Jeff. It was somebody else. And they're like, who are you? And I basically said, I'm your new salesman. And by God, here we are about 3-4 weeks later, and I'm your new salesman. But the main motivation is protecting kids. And for that matter, hospitals or places of work. I mean, this system is awesome. It's so incredible.
Well, and Craig, I'm going to tell you, you have an admirer here that's joined us on the show, and I'm looking at the picture of this beautiful lady named Annie, and I can tell that you can sell, because if you convinced her somehow, I mean,
my mama didn't raise no fool. Let's put it that way. That's right. That's right.
I don't know if you could see the screen, but she wanted to tell you hello, handsome. So
very nice.
I think that's very nice. But no, you being a career educator and somebody, and you have a really unique background. Yeah, career educator, but you're also an entrepreneur and have been for quite some time. And so you bring a real unique blend. But I think the thing that impresses me the most is, founded by an educator. We have educators within the system, as well as law enforcement and first responders and experts in different areas. But I think you have a unique perspective of what matters inside the four walls of these schools, much like Jeff, of what real world is needed. And what can be done. I think we oversimplify sometimes, right? Or excuse me, we make things more difficult than they should be, I should say. Common sense goes a long ways. And I think it's awesome that we're able to get another career educator on the team at SafeDefend. So I know it's going to be exciting to have you out there helping people.
Experts at shaping the lives of America's youth. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. They called me that a few times too, but I wasn't in education, so I don't know what that meant.
That's weird.
Craig, tell us, I know you and I have talked a little bit, as you were coming on board, and we're going through the training process, but, you made a few statements that, from your classroom days, a system like SafeDefend, talk a little bit about, your perceptions of what that would mean as a teacher, and or what it meant to you when you saw the system and the difference it could make.
That's a great question. I suppose in a very personal way, I walked in this huge high school for 10 years, and I was at middle level and all the buildings, but there were times when I wondered, what would I do? And I'm not sure I had an answer to that. This is a kind of a callous thing to say, but I had a bat next to underneath my desk. The kids couldn't see it or anything, but I thought, Is this my line of defense? And at times we were told, well, arm the kids with staplers or books or things of that nature. And there are all these wild ways of that people had come up with that we were supposedly going to defend ourselves or protect ourselves. And let's be honest, they weren't going to work necessarily. And so when I came across SafeDefend, the most important thing that I saw that you all had created, to me anyway, was the instant notification. And I could run over to a notification module. I could take this right here. I could shove it right in there. And in 2 or 3 seconds, the entire school, all the police in the area, every administrator, and every other teacher, that's the key. Every teacher knew right then, right there, that we needed to go to lockdown. Something bad was going on. And they could look at their phone and find out, oh, it's Deaver's room 106. Oh, crap. Now what do we do? Well, they knew what to do because SafeDefend, they trained them what to do. The law enforcement says, okay, here's the region of the school that this crisis is in. The administrators within the building are like, oh my, because keep in mind that high school, my God, it's about 3 acres. It was just ginormous. That's just the building. It's huge.
Yeah.
And so there might have been the gym teachers may not even know there was a crisis going on. And how would they know? And if I'm being really honest, I probably should admit this, but I don't even know if I knew what the office's phone number was, because what we were told to do is what you call the office, and then they'll send out an intercom thing. And then some people might hear it. Some might, no. With this deal, this finger activates, boom, strobes, lights, everything else. Then I can lock my room and I can protect my kids because they have a safety bag full of items that at least give me a chance to protect the kids in my room. And oh my God, that's so important to me. And there's all sorts of interesting things that we should explain to the world about what's in that bag. But that's probably the biggest impact I've had from coming on with you guys and learning about the system.
Well, I think, my wife was a career educator, recently retired. And I've told Jeff this story, before I really knew them. She was in some of these schools, and I told her to take a can of Raid, one of those high-powered cans of Raid. It was as a spouse of a teacher, I really don't give a crap. I didn't care. If you're in that situation, you just want them to have something, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the first things that when you really dive into the SafeDefend, the entire system, obviously immediate notification, then those tools, that toolkit, if you will, inside the safe, that's going to give you the opportunity to do what's best for you guys in that situation. And one of those things is pepper spray, non-lethal, but it gives them something, and I think that, because the immediate go-to always is we need to arm everybody. And we've talked about this to nausea. Okay. Number one, most teachers aren't signing up for that. That's not it. And it just, and I'll just say this, just me, good luck passing that through the teachers unions in most states in the country also. Good luck with that. We'll see how that'll work out for you. So even if you were inclined to do that, it's very difficult. You're going to have a real uphill battle fight to do that.
Well,
so you find yourself always trying to. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry. I talked over you.
No, you're good.
It's when I was impressed with that, I'd be a little hesitant with pepper spray myself, just because it makes a cloud and then 14 kids are crying as well. This is a gel, and I saw this. Man, that thing will shoot across the room, and you can be pretty. If you have a decent aim at all, it's pretty danged impressive, and it only goes to the area that you're spraying. And I saw a video in Seattle, and we might even use it in the presentation, where a professor actually used it on a gunman, and man, I couldn't believe the impact it had. It was like, he fell to the ground and everything else, and then they were able to do something with him. But guess what? I watched these two men try and wrestle this guy to the ground, and he was disoriented and everything else, and then they had to just try and sit on him. Well, in the toolkit, there's handcuffs with zip ties. Yep. I thought, God, that's brilliant. And you guys have thought of everything, because absolutely. That might be something you need, because then you're looking around for a cord to yank down from the projector or something.
Whatever. Take your belt off, right?
Right.
Something,
Right.
right?
Well,
right.
and I think what really separates SafeDefend is, first and foremost, even with these tools, we're never asking teachers to go engage a bad guy. This is not what that's about.
Right.
Even with pepper spray and or a baton and any of these other tools, that is never going to work out well for anybody taking these into someone that's armed with a gun. But absolutely, they can be very effective in keeping somebody out of your classroom. And that's what it really comes down to. And that's where SafeDefend is truly the difference maker. There's a lot of notification options out there that exist, but nobody allows teachers to manage this crisis those first critical 5, 7, maybe even 10 minutes when they're on their own until help can get there. That's where SafeDefend really makes the difference. And we hear this from teachers all the time, that they don't ever want to have to use this system, but they're damn glad it's there.
Right.
And, so it really comes down to that. That's what separates, not just being able to get notified, but also managing it, staying alive till help arrives, protecting your kids, protecting your classroom. And that's all we need you to do. And we're going to put you in the best position possible to do that.
Yeah. I heard one of you guys say, and I think it's 100% true, the first 15 seconds determines the next 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
And I think we all know what happens in those next 15 minutes. So if you can do something in the first 15 seconds, oh man, we've really accomplished something here. We're saving lives. We're saving teachers. We're saving communities. My God, can you imagine what's going on in some of these communities? It makes us all, I literally, I even teared up. I'm in my little office here and I teared up looking at one of the videos. Because those were my kids a month ago. And
absolutely,
man, if I would have had a system like this, that first 15 seconds, everybody in the school would have known that it's happening. They would have looked at their phone. They would have known where it is. I would have gotten my door locked. I would have been ready to roll if I needed to. At least I'd have a fighting chance. And that's all we can ask for.
I think, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, to your point, Craig, this is not just an impact on the families that may have had kids that, are lost tragically, or staff members that were lost tragically. This is a lifelong impact on an entire community.
Yes.
And, I think I hate to say take it for granted, but I think we forget that part, a lot of it. And we focus so heavily on, just those in the victims in the moment. But the entire, that impact spreads throughout that entire community for the rest of their lives. That building is probably not ever going to be a school again.
It's going to be raised.
Nobody's going to want to go in there.
Yeah.
You're always going to be remembered as the school that had, or the district that had a shooting and lost lives. Those families are never going to be the same again. And, when it comes down to it, there really had to be, when I created SafeDefend, there had to be a better way. And, SafeDefend is absolutely the most comprehensive approach to this. My God, we're going to do everything we can to make sure teachers are in the best position to protect themselves, their kids, and get home to their families. That's what this is all about.
Well, and I think, what I like about, and it's unfortunate it comes through tragedy, right? It's literally is every day or every other day, there's another story, whether it's in a school or at a parade, unfortunately, recently. So we need to get over the whole, I don't want to spend time talking about crap that doesn't matter. What we got to do is try to zero in on what can we do to make our students and our staffs, our teachers, our support staff, anybody that's in a school or in a private business, like you talked about hospitals. There was a horrible mass shooting in Tulsa, Oklahoma, just a few weeks ago at an administrative office at a hospital in Tulsa, where people were killed. We've got a, being an old military guy always said, you always address the thing that's going to kill you first, right? If you got multiple things that can take you out, okay, we got to build the one that's going to do it to you first. Then you can go the next one, then you can go the next one, then you can go the next one. That's just how you handle those kind of situations. And I think that's what we're really dealing with right now. We've got to make sure that the times of debating about, oh, gee, can we afford these things? Oh, gee, do we really need this? Listen, there's never been an act, Uvalde, Texas, never dreamed it would happen to them. When it happened at Columbine, they never dreamed it would happen to them. Sandy Hook, never dreamed it would happen to them. Nobody ever thinks it's going to happen to them. And the truth is this is our reality now in our society, unfortunately. So we've got to do the things necessary to give our administrators, our classroom teachers, our site principals, our school resource officers, that we got to put them in the best situation possible to make our children and our staffs as safe as we can. SafeDefend, be not even close, does that better than anybody in the marketplace.
To your point on that, I think of our SRO at my high school. I just left. We had a couple of them, did a great job, loved both of them. The kids liked them, all that stuff. And I brought this up, but they don't know that something's necessarily happening. And then they don't know what part of the building. And so then you're scrambling to try and figure out, well, where is this occurring? Where's this intruder? Whatever the case may be, because I've seen it happen. And it might be a fight between two kids, or it might be a suspicious person had entered the building and they're racing around. Where is he? And it might take them 10 minutes to find them in some of these huge buildings. And with the touch of that finger, they know the exact region where to go. And that is huge in a crisis situation, because sometimes we hear about the good guys winning and winning early. And that's what needs to happen. And I personally asked my police officer friend that was in our school, I said, what do you do? He goes, I engaged the shooter. And he said it with such conviction that I was like, yeah, I think you do that. And he needs to know where it is. And then I feel a lot better about the whole situation.
Well, when we think about Uvalde, it just came out that an officer called in requesting permission to engage before it ever got in the building, and either somebody didn't get back to him or they did. And I think that's part of the honest conversation. I'm not being critical of law enforcement. I love law enforcement. But the reality is we all think we know how we're going to react to a situation, but we don't know until we're in the situation. And that's why training, that's why preparation, that's why having all these tools are so important. Because you can have the greatest, most well-intended law enforcement in the world in your community, but most times, especially in some of our smaller communities, these people, they're not training for this type of thing every day. They're not. I mean, we've got to have resources in the hands of the people in the rooms waiting for the good guys to get there, but it's not going to be like it is in the movies, guys. Everybody acts like that, they know how they're going, I would do this and I would do that. Now, well, you don't know that. You don't know that. That's why the system's so critical.
Yeah, and the great thing about, our system, especially interacting with SROs, SROs may not get the information that they're needed. Sometimes not even until the 911 call gets placed, and that might be 2 or 3 minutes after something starts, because if they're in a different part of the building, or if they're, outside the building on campus somewhere else, but getting them that notification within seconds of the exact location where it started. Now they're heading there knowing what they're getting into, and they're on the radio. Now we're getting mutual aid. We are reducing law enforcement's response time from several minutes down to minutes at worst. And that is a difference maker. That is absolutely a difference maker. God bless the SROs. They, they're there for a lot of reasons. They're not just standing there waiting for an active shooter to take place, because that's not what we want them to be doing every day, all day long. They do a great job. But, if you're in a facility that has SROs, they can be your first and best chance and option of ending this if they get the information they need to be able to go do that.
That's the bottom line. So Jeff and Craig, I'm going to give you guys last comments. We're wrapping this up. Went by fast today.
I did.
So Craig, I'll let you say what you want to say. Then Jeff, you can take us out.
Well, I think I'm going to be making some phone calls, all over America, but for sure in the Kansas City region to start with. And I'm going to tell you, I'm hoping to get into a few offices and show what this incredible system can do, because I think it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited to have Craig on board. His educational experience and his practical approach has been just awesome. He's a great fit for SafeDefend. We're very excited to get him out in front of customers and start getting some success on selling SafeDefend. And I'll tell you, just please reach out to us. You can go through our website at safedefend.com, or you can call us directly at 913-856-2800. We are incredibly busy right now, as you may guess, but we will always answer the phone. So please reach out. And Craig, welcome to SafeDefend.
Thank you.
Craig, yeah, I echo that. Welcome to SafeDefend. You joined a heck of a team. My favorite thing about Craig is his humor is a little sarcastic, which I personally really, really value and appreciate. So.
In this office environment, that was the first question we asked.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Do you have a sarcastic sense of humor? Yes. Okay, check.
Yeah. Check. Yeah, that's right. He'll fit in here. No. Hey guys, we appreciate all of you. Craig, welcome again. Jeff, thank you so much for what you've created and what you guys continue to build. And just echo what Jeff said. If you have any questions on how you can get involved, if you just have questions in general, if you're a teacher or an administrator or an HR director, anybody, if you have questions about how can we make your workplace safer, please give them a call. They're there to help. So guys, thank you so much.
Thank
you.
We'll
see you all next week on SafeDefend Live.
Have a great weekend.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.